course, I ain't got nothing set up, nothing ready to go. But y'all would never expect anything different. I moved my microphone for that video on Monday. I mean, my camera for that video on Monday. Now it doesn't want to cooperate. I'm dealing with some work issues. So I'm remoted into another computer right now. So you're going to have to bear with me. Again, about as unprofessional as y'all can get. Man, y'all wanted real. So here's real. Actually, I think I got my mic working. So that's always a plus. I don't even have YouTube up yet. All right. What's happening? 619's first. He wins the prize. Of course, I haven't eaten yet, so you'll get to watch me eat pizza. I was going to eat it before I started, but it was about the same temperature as the sun, so I was not going to eat that. Burn the top of my mouth for 2 days, so y'all wouldn't see me eat. So y'all going to have to bear with me, as usual, while I also am remoted into this computer so I can figure out what's going on with this guy's radio. I don't really see nothing. So I think that's it. All right. Well, if that don't fix it, I'll look at it after. All right, boys and girls, need to play COD on the other screen. Let me tell you, I told my buddies I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start binge watching Netflix because I cannot stand the new Call of Duty. I might have to continue playing the old multiplayer on the other version. You know, sometimes it's good to be different. As in like this YouTube channel. It's way different than the professional ones. But I don't I don't want a Call of Duty that's like Battleground. I know y'all want to be Call of Duty just wants to be just like Battleground. But you know, I tried playing both of them. I don't care for either one of them. I kind of like my comic book version of video game playing. There's a reason why I'm old and I play on casuals. And I've tried to play the new Call of Duty a couple of times and I cannot get through it. I just can't. So trying to help out some people with Meshtastic. Ladies and gentlemen, I have not had a chance to set up Meshtastic yet. The biggest question I've had a couple of people ask me was they wanted me to suggest an antenna. I can't suggest an antenna because I haven't played with any of them yet, and they're not cheap. So I don't know. Usually, your VHF marine antennas are at the very least, um, 3 to 4 feet. That's on the very small side. Majority of your marine antennas in that band are 8 foot long, and that's crazy long. But like I told y'all, VHF is a very long band, very long waves, and it needs that kind of antenna. Big surface area to catch waves, catch RF. So if you happen to find some VHF antenna that's only 2 foot long, I don't know, and really what kind of results you're going to get from that. And I haven't found any kind of economical VHF antenna yet. So been setting up mesh testing nodes all day. Seems like CapturGO has been really starting to take off. I'm starting to see a lot of stuff from CapturGO. And we just heard about that, about a week or two ago. But I've been running CapturGO. I know 619 is lapping me, no pun intended. But, I've been driving my butt off. And I only got 5,910 tokens so far. So I got that. Somebody asked me how my 375 AI was going. So far I have 122,000 hexes on that. So we've been moving on that one. Because I think that all reset with the new TGE. I don't know really what's been going on. Like, it just seems like things are kind of flat right now. For those of y'all who are in Wingbits, I think you might have even missed out, but the deadline has come for if you want to take out any of your money early. Let's see when UTC time is. So UTC time's 1:10 a.m. So I guess if you didn't do your Wingbits early draw, you missed out because it's supposed to end at, wasn't it at mid 0:00? Actually, it's on Discord. So you'll be able to confirm your interest in this program directly in your dashboard from December 1st until 11:59 p.m. on December 2nd. So we got 22 hours to get this done. If you're interested, I think I would say it's funny, but it's not funny. But it is funny how there's so much FUD. And there's so many people who look at this from different directions. I look at it as positive. It's not just because I could use the money, or because I've been in it so long and I got so many tokens. But this is unheard of for a project to do, to help their people out when they let it keep postponing TGE. Excuse me. But they got some people out there who just are turning this into the most negative news at all. they have tried to explain several times that the 0.005 has nothing to do with possible token price. Basically, they had $400,000 on the side for this, and they looked up, hey, what's the if every person who is eligible took 50% of their tokens out, how much could we pay? And when you did the division on that and you divided it, it came out to 0.005. Now, do I wish they would have upped the price a little bit? Sure. Because, I mean, you know that not every single person is going to take out their tokens. You know, I didn't take out 50% of mine. I took out a decent little chunk. And because I want a couple of things paid off before the end of the year. And I just did it. I also want to take some of that money. And my plan is to buy parts for Wingbits for my DIY devices so that in case, you know, an SDR, because I still have a couple of green SDRs out of my 15 stations or 14 DIY stations. And I want to make sure I have those SDRs ready that in case one fails, I have one here on the shelf that I can swap out because it is going to fail in the next year. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. One of my SDRs out of 14 will fail over the next year. So instead of me having to come out of $35 or $40 out of pocket at that time, if I got one here, then I have one ready. So it goes to kind of show you that I am taking some of my money from this project and reinvesting it in the money. I have 2 or 3 stations that are using not the Wingbits Amazon Grumpy antenna that he's always suggesting because I had these antennas on hand. I tested some of them, and that's how I know some of them aren't as great. So on some of my stations, I didn't put, especially the ones that I didn't think would be the top performers, I might have put these weaker antennas. I would like to increase, you know, better my station, if that makes sense, to try to improve it, which is going to improve my rewards, which is going to mean, because now I got to have this flip thing as people worry about the ROI and equipment. Now I need to worry about the ROI on the tokens I just removed. If that's probably not the right term to use, but reimburse myself or whatever. I kind of sat here. This is why basically at the last minute I claimed today, because I have been going back and forth on, hey, it'd be nice to pay off this bill in addition to buy this equipment and have a little bit of cheddar on the side, maybe reimburse some of my crow that I took out recently because I had to pay some stuff versus, yeah, okay, that's nice. But then if you're also taking out X amount of 100,000 wings tokens, how long is it going to be to reimburse that? You know, I was quite proud of the fact that I was the #1 Wingbits holder in the project. With me doing my disbursement, I don't know if I'm still holding that. I don't know. I mean, I still have well over 1 million tokens. So I mean, I didn't take that amount. I didn't take 400,000 out. But the fact that people are so freaking negative, like I thought I was negative about everything. They got people in that Discord that are so negative right now. But speaking of majority of y'all, I'm not gonna say everybody, but majority of y'all have said, and I know the 3 or 4 people that I know in this project locally who I've gotten into this project, my sister, 2 different guys at work, one of my friends. There's 4 people right there who said they're not touching it. They're eligible for a couple $100 and they're not touching it. You know, I know Who Fought It has this idea of Wingbits being worth $5 a piece, but just looking at what has happened with some other projects, you know, I've always said I think the Wingbits price will start out somewhere between 1 and 2 cents, just starting out, and where it goes from there, we don't know. But one reason why they've delayed the TGE is because of them making sure that price can stay at a decent rate and they can help support it with buybacks or burns and injection stuff like that. But sometimes things happen. And let's just say what happens if after TGE and mainnet, this price falls under 0.005. You know, you look at a lot of these different projects that I've missed out on because 375 AI, and even Nadix, when I did a live and I showed y'all that I had like $800 in natives, and then a month later it was worth 200. You know, might have been a little bit longer than a month, but either way, that's how much it dropped. Even Nubla, I held out on Nubla, and look what that's at now. Chirp, I went the other day to look at Chirp. I'm thinking about I need a hunting license for Mississippi. I still haven't bought my hunting license yet because I didn't have a chance to go hunting yet. And they're like $450. I'm like, you know what? Instead of coming out of pocket for Christmas, what if I just take them? $100 a demo, $100 a chirp, $100 of something else, $100 something else, and just use that money. Then I saw what Chirp's worth, and I'm like, and I know I talk about it every Monday or Tuesday on my videos, but when you actually go to your wallet and you remember what you had at one point in Chirp, and now you're seeing what you have in Chirp, you're like, it hits you. And I just think that's funny because I do the video every Monday talking about what the price action is and what's going on with the project. And you talk about that, yeah, dropped another 10%. Yeah, dropped another 7%. Yeah, only dropped 2%. But when you see your total of your wallet, because it's a SUI wallet, so I only have it on like one or two things to go look at. And you're like, holy hell, this really did drop. So I don't know. Huh. That's fine. 619 says you got to do something about hex sizes. Buddy, I think you're pissing up wind or whatever you want to say. Up a hill or whatever. Into the wind. You know, what I'm hoping, and again, only for certain select areas, they've kind of, I ain't gonna say they hinted to this, but during the AMA, and apparently I'll keep hearing things in these AMAs that I just completely imagine, because it seems like things change for these AMAs. But you know, they talked about for certain congested areas with a lot of hexes, maybe putting a cap on that area or that region, like the New York region, or was it Finland or Germany or whatever that is. Can't read this paperwork. This is my sheet that I finally took home. These are my notes that I wrote down for TGE. People sending me ICE videos from local area here. Yes, ICE is in our area, and they're arresting illegals. Okay. Where was I at? So I'm trying to read because I gotta have dim because the lights and all that. But I wanted to go over this my TGE. I mean my AMA to see what I possibly forgot. Now some people are spreading the FUD that, hey, it's December. You're not gonna get this money from this buyback or whatever you want to call it. I mean, a buyback. It's a pre-TGE handout. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But you got people saying, well, by the time it hits on the 15th, you're already halfway through December. And if they were talking about doing TGE possibly Q1 of 2026, well, you know, it could be in January, because if it's going to be that close, then you might as well just wait. Yeah, I think they got a point, but there's nothing 100% saying that. They said they need global coverage. They currently have about 80% of the globe, which is still more than what competitors are offering. Where's my other sheet at? I had another sheet where they talked about the whole hexes thing, and somebody asked about the hexes. I don't know. So what else? P13's here. One region cap. There you go. Region cap. I think Louisiana needs that too myself. Milkman says DABA TGE's quarter 126. Six one nine says, I wish. Most of I don't have enough token to cash out. Milkman says, even if he could, he wouldn't. Don't lose 20%. I'll be honest with you, that was the biggest thing tugging at me. I think that's the biggest thing. I'm gonna kick myself in the ass later. But I got one bill that's on top of me. I've told y'all about it before. IRS is due at the end of the year, and it'd be nice just to get that from over my head, and be done with it. That and one little another bill. Still got my hospital surgery bills coming in. Hey, I send them $100 a month, and they keep calling me. And I'm like, send $100 a month. It's not my fault that y'all want to charge you $739 for an aspirin. It's crazy. Crazy what they want for gallbladder surgery and spending 1 day in the hospital. Got 4 Wi-Fi stations, which I have more, but we'll add this project. Well, that was one thing I did not mess with. At some point you just start getting a little weary on some of these projects. Is Dabber the one where you never ever see equipment? It's just, hey, it's in another country somewhere, India or something like that, and trust us, we hooking your stuff up. I told you before, I think DeFly ruined me because that was the same stuff they were kind of saying, and you have other people, including other influencers, that spent like 3, 4, 5 grand on these devices, that remote devices that were in other countries because they needed coverage or whatever DeFly was shilling that week, and people got burned on it. So I get a little weary with the whole like trust us, bro. We're deploying this stuff, but now in hindsight, you can tell it was a legit project. Apparently, from what I'm reading, from what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing. So congratulations on people who had that blind leap of faith, and it's going to pay off for them apparently. What else is going on? Let's see. I haven't been on the Wingbits Discord, so see, I got. Okay, listen, I failed college math, so nobody needs to make fun of me. Apparently, me eating, I booted everybody out because I went from 15 people to 4 people just now on the YouTube. Sorry, guys. I got to eat. I'm sorry. Anyway, like I said, I'm professional. I'm used to it. So Mike says they issued 125 to 150 million. I had 1.6 million. So is that's got to be 1%, right? 1% of the tokens. And even after I give them, give them back, whatever you want to call it, I'll still be in that 1 percentile. So I love how people lecture me about my stations too far apart and too close. You got like one day people will learn you don't mess with the Godfather of the Gulf. That's all I can tell you. I don't know if this shirt has Godfather of the Gulf back or not. Steve Rosalina needs to make me some more Godfather of the Gulf merchandise. I got a station offline again. That's the one thing about having 15 stations. There's always one offline. I see my host still has not improved my setup yet. I tell you what, you make deals with hosts and they're going to install stuff a certain way. You explain it to them why it can't be certain ways, and you find out they do it anyway. And then they tell us, say, trust us, bro. We're going to go improve it. That was 2 weeks ago. Or you have a host that just wants to go and keep tinkering with stuff without getting with you. And this is what you get. And for those who can't see, I'm getting 25 a day right here. Because he went and increased his antenna height, and I need to deal with it. But dealing with him, but bless his heart, he tried to improve it and he tried to raise it, but then he used some very crappy feed line that was about this thick and hurt more than it helped. So I need to deal with that. I got a pretty good chunk. If I can keep all my stations online, I'm making about 14,500 a week. Just somebody asked me that, but keeping all these stations off online, I don't know what's going on with this one. I know what's wrong with it. It's certain third party software that can't keep this shit together. What sucks is I'm using a helium miner, still mining helium, while running Wingbits and Earn app and this other stuff on it. And what's going to end up happening is I'm going to have to get rid of helium because I'm getting rid of the third party app because this is third party OS or whatever you want to call it, because it's getting to be BS. Frustrating. Yep. Let's see what trusty Tailscale says. Tailscale says device is offline since 3:50 p.m. yesterday. Whatever. All right. So somebody asked me about Combiner. I can't stand Telegram. Cannot stand Telegram. I don't know if y'all heard me the first time. Cannot stand Telegram. I don't know what's going on. These things bouncing and jumping all over the place. Community contributions. Community chat. Announcements. No announcements. People complain about some kind of adapters on Combiner. Everybody just keeps fighting about some kind of peak rewards thing on Combiner. Oh well. Brush Show. I don't know what the hell's going on with Brush Show. You know, I think they went TGE. I think. Oh, so supposedly you can start using at some point. They're looking to where you can use your accumulated brush tokens for brush heads on Brush Show. I tell y'all, if y'all watch my video this morning, my daughter wants a brush show, and I told her, so you do realize it means you have to brush your teeth at least twice a day, in the morning, and then when you also go to sleep. And she's like, well, sometimes. My Guard Pro. If y'all saw me discuss my Guard Pro, So what's cool about Guard Pro is like right now, I just got alerted that I have a deer on my camera. So I can then go to my camera and hit live. And in the middle of the woods, 2 hours away, hit the button right. I'm watching live as we speak. We're on live watching the deer live as we speak. Is that not badass or what? Like, oh, I got to charge my battery. Then if I want to save, I want to take a picture, I can take a picture of it. If I want to save the live as a video, I can do that. But this is live as we speak in the middle of the woods. And the deer's eating my food plot. What would we do without technology, huh? Is that crazy? Because of helium. Grumpy don't have any silver or gold. And me and my buddies at work talk about it all the time. The problem is Grumpy don't have money for silver and gold and things like that. I got a buddy who is deep into gold, and he's talking about selling. He said, kind of like crypto, but at a much slower pace. But it's all so high right now that he's contemplates selling some of his strictly to get take some profit. Got my trusty back scratcher here, so I can go ahead and lose 2 more people watching. It was a slow night, 6 people. I ain't been that slow in a while. I guess because there's nothing really to talk about. I mean, if anybody knows any news, please share it. Because right now, like I was looking through X just now, I don't see nothing. You know, everybody's saying the bull season's over with. Other people saying, look right now, because you're looking at this certain kind of microchasm thing with a microscope. You know, it means that the bull run's coming still. Don't worry about it. Just load the cart. We're ready. Coolest Wingbits setups from around the world. I'll just stick it up in the air, guys. Free Bitcoins. In 2011, you could visit this website and claim 5 Bitcoin for free. Let's be honest, we would have sold it by now. Who would have held on to this? You know, you got 5 Bitcoins and it went up to $1,000. He would have held on to that? Hell, I bet people sold this at $100 or bought a pizza. Didn't they already announce what the cut was going to be? Are we making a deal about that? Plan B if alt season don't happen. Alt season ain't happening, buddy. Oh, it's Gigi's 26th birthday. I'm surprised she's not chilling some junk coin, meme coin somewhere. Dude, look at this. Like this, that would be me. Just innocently going down the road, and a plane crashes on top of me. Oh, crazy. But I've been absent from your live videos, but always watching like videos. I appreciate it, Jorge, man. It's been a while. It's a slow night tonight. I got 8 people, nothing really to talk about. I'm just chit chatting with y'all. I wish I had some kind of news. I was looking around on X just now, hoping I would see something that would this is well, it's not new news. This is something that some people have been talking about. Is there a tipping point somewhere with these people with these huge mining companies, and as the block rewards continue to go down, not that I will be here to see the bottom half of this list, but just the profit in, I read this article. I'm trying to explain what I read, but I read this article about there's a tipping point that if Bitcoin goes below a certain point, and some of these mining companies will then start losing money instead of gaining money, that some of them will turn off because they got to make a profit, if that makes sense. I forget what number it was, but it wasn't that low. But not everybody's gonna turn it. You got people who they want the money. I don't know. What else? What else is in the news? I don't see nothing. Maybe that's why everything's just going sideways. I don't see nothing. It's too we're too into, what do you want to call it, the bull market or what? But I just remember during the bear market, it got so boring because things were just going sideways. Do we think it's just? I mean, we're sideways. You can call it what you want. I mean, it's somewhat of a channel. I guess you can also draw a line here and a line here and say, I don't know. I can't get anything out of that. I don't know. I'm drawing some lines, pretending like, but I mean, we did have this nice one candle. This is the 4-hour chart. So you had this nice one candle where it went from 89,000 up to 92, then up to 94. So that was $4,000. Looks even better when you do the 1-hour chart. It's Ethereum, Solana, but they all kind of look the same, don't they? Where's XRP at? $2.08. Where's ICP at? $3.62. Peak. Oh man. talked a little while ago about getting a hunting license, and I'm like, maybe I should take my money out of Peak. And then I just looked and I saw what I had currently in Peak, and I wanted to puke on the side of the road because I know how much I've DCA'd into Peak over the last, how long has Peak been out? 6, 8, 10 months, 12 months? And I know how much I was putting in every paycheck. And when I see what it's worth now, I'm like, holy hell. God, it's horrible. AVAX? So much for grass coming back, huh? People were talking about grass earlier. Oh. I don't know, guys. I mean, we can hang out and look at each other, but I don't know anything going on. So we talked about all our projects. I mean, what else? Let's see. Look at this sheet. 4D Sky still sitting right here in my box. I keep trying to contemplate. Where the hell do I want to put this at? I'd like to put it in a nice spot in a clear sky that to give it an opportunity to be able to see what it can do. The problem is those are all occupied by Wingbits devices, and I'm not taking a Wingbits device down for this. I can tell you that right now, especially now that I took a little bit of money out and I need to refurb that money. But I'd like to get into this just so I can see the setup and take some notes and do a video for y'all on how to set up 4D Sky. For the few of y'all who ordered 4D Sky, for those of y'all who order them and use my code, I appreciate it. The person who ordered 2 of these with both antennas, I really thank you very much. You're on my Christmas list. Even though my part's kind of capped out, but I think that was pretty strong. Our codes were messed up for the first sale that sold out. I think that was awfully convenient, but who am I to accuse anybody of wrongdoing? But the first drop on Helium Deploy, none of the YouTubers' codes worked. There was some kind of issue. So, Helium Deploy made pure profit on that one. But like I said, I've had maybe 6 that have sold since the second drop happened. One person bought one and then like the next day returned it, got his money back, or canceled the order. Like I said, and somebody bought 2 with both the antennas, I believe. So again, I think whoever, and I was worried about the price, and it goes to show you that there's a price for everybody, like the $1 Million Man said. Everybody's got a price. Hey, it didn't fly off the shelves like WB200s, MGW 310s, but I told you the other day, I looked at my affiliate report and people are still buying those. I thought it was a little surprising as far as the MGW 310, just because of what the price tag is and what the ROI is on that. But hey, let's see. Helium Deploy, Air Squitter. What's up with these names? Air Squitter, another Air Squitter sold. Thank you very much, whoever that was. Let's Helium Deploy. High Fix. Let's see what people are buying on High Fix. Stupid captures. My wife lets me come watch Landman with her till I got entertain y'all, all 6 of y'all. Go do the capture again. I can't get the capture. It ain't that hard to pick where all the bicycles are at, guys. All right. My credentials don't match. Now I gotta pick the cars again. This is ridiculous. Now I gotta pick the bicycles again. Okay, so what's people buying on HiFix? My last one was a GeoNet miner. So nothing too exciting. HiFix doesn't really have a lot of stuff, does it? I don't know. I know you don't want to talk about that. I'm just trying to come up with stuff. So I don't know. Actually, this guy sent me some free ones because my location, no response. Are you talking about your spots in on the Asia side? I don't know. I've never spoken with 40 Sky, so I don't know who deals with that project or anything like that. Haven't even really been in Discord. Oh, Neuron. That's why I couldn't find 40 Sky. Shows you how often I go to that Discord. Um, is there anybody here who has set up a 4D Sky yet? PNC Bank started crypto services today. Well, that's a good thing. Are they using any particular chain or are they just accepting crypto? Because the XRP is supposed to have all these banks wrapped around them and $10. Hypnus. Trust me, I need some hypnus right now because I'd love to put my head down on here. I have not been sleeping well at night. I don't know why. I don't know why. Because I stay up all night watching TV. I had to catch up on Stranger Things. And then they wanted you to go watch certain episodes so that you can remind yourself what the hell happened to prepare yourself for the new episodes that started coming out over the weekend. I think it was last week. So I had to catch up on 5 different episodes, an hour long. And I'm glad I did because I did not remember half that stuff. And then I started watching, and after watching all that, then I had to at least watch the first new episode of Stranger Things. And next thing you know, it's 2:30 in the morning. I got to wake up at 6:30. No wonder why I'm so tired. Yep. So, um, trying to remember what we said about hypnosis. I think I inquired about it with some people, and they said it seemed like there was a good team behind it, legit project. Not saying it's gonna be wildly successful, but you know I wonder about that with 4D Sky. You're spending $1,000 for a device, and my fear is, and I'm not saying this is not going to happen. I don't mean to create FUD or this is not financial advice, but I find that in the past, I'm not saying this happens every time, but in some projects you have people who um they buy more expensive devices thinking, hey, I bought a $1,000 device. that means my rewards are going to be higher also, or worth more. And it doesn't necessarily correlate into that. I'm sure some of y'all can talk about some of y'all projects that cost a pretty good chunk of change and you didn't get the return back that you thought you would, especially if you compare it with another project. So I am curious, The last episode will be at the cinema, I think. Boy, that's some gangster. That's a gangster move, huh? Like, like, come on, like mafia gangster move. Like, get everybody all intrigued in this, get everybody back into this, and then we're gonna put it in the theater so we can charge you for $35 nachos because I can't go to the theater without getting nachos. Yeah, no, I'd have to wait for it. I don't love it that much. I'd have to wait for it to come out on streaming or something. Oh, let's see. Um, hmm. For y'all entropy lovers, entropy as announced on today's live stream on X. There was a live stream on X. Okay. We're dropping a collab with the Digital Spenders Club. You may recognize the DSC from the Solana Summer House, which we participated back in September. We are partnering with DSC to issue 10 limited edition drop boxes containing the best of our culture output. And what's in it? A 1-1 custom alkalite, 1.5 fully molded well fit figurine, an Ashler, exempt from your household limit. Are they really doing household limits still? 2 hats, one from Entropy, one from DSC. How do you get it? The drip participates in the earth. Whatever. I really didn't know they were doing lives. Anything else? Lucky I got Earn app. That's all I can say. Up to 241 members in the Discord. So I appreciate it. And I'm sorry for those of y'all. I know there were several of y'all who, with 7 of y'all in here right now, but there's some of y'all who had the grumpy server tag next to your name. And there was one guy who put up 2 server boosts a while back when D Vaselina had asked, hey, does anybody have any extra server boost? Can you help Grumpy out so we can put server tags? Some guy did it. And then we were able to put up server tags. Well, I was on a live yesterday in Meshtastic or Meshcore, and I'm like, wait, why do I not see Grumpy next to my name? So I had to sit there and figure out, and sure enough, I figured out that he pulled both of his boosts. And hey, man, I guess he can do that. It is what it is. It's not my fault. I apologize for those of y'all who had to go through trouble of adding the server tag again. For those of y'all who had the grumpy tag, if you go into the server tag thing, it's already there. You just gotta approve it again, and it's there. So, it is what it is. Probably the guy spamming your site with personal ads. I haven't seen anybody put that personal ads on the Discord or on here. The guy that said he wanted to hit me in the head with a hammer or whatever it was. I don't know. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. So on my Discord, all I do is I stay on top of, like right now I'm gonna do it is I look at all the new members coming in, and like right now I got 2 people that came in that have not verified from a day ago. Well, not even that, 15 hours ago and 7 hours ago. So if they don't verify by then, they get the boot. It even tells me how one of them is they already flagged for engaging in suspected spam activity. Now, I have no idea what the spam activity is, but it just tells me Phoenix Mage is 7 hours been here. It says she joined Discord 10 days ago. You're not supposed to be able to get into the server being that new. I see. I gotta go back to the bot and figure that out. But either way, Phoenix Marie just got the boot and she's gone. And then Erica Adams. Erica joined Discord 12 days ago and she's getting the boot also. So now, see, I have to go into the bot and figure out, because at one point you couldn't get into our Discord if you were here for like less than a month or 6 months or something like that. And I hate to do that because some people, lose their access to their account and they got to create a new one and all that. And I want them to be able to come into the Discord, but the majority of people, like the two I just showed you, they're in here doing malicious crap, and it is what it is. The guy advertising his PC skills. I didn't see that. They were reported. Yeah, that's what's one of the new scams is people come into these servers, whether it's Wingbits or 375 AI or 4D Sky, and they're like, I am a web designer. I'm familiar with Web3, layer 3 tokens, and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, do you really think, if this is legit, do you really think they're gonna hire you straight from the chat? Yeah, buddy, come on, come over here tomorrow for a job interview. And look, and if they're legit, more power to them. If you're unemployed and you got somebody to support at home, you're gonna go and flood your information everywhere. But I don't know. Who far said, yeah, he thinks the people are like that. The more I spend on a device, the higher the rewards are great. Or at least the more they're gonna be valued. And that's not, there's no correlation to that. Because we have no idea what that token's gonna be worth. We don't know what the token supply is gonna be. We don't know if they're gonna have 1 billion or 1 million tokens or 100 billion tokens. And it'll be 0.001 token price. I am eager to see what's gonna go on with Wingbits though. I don't know if I'm more nervous now that I took this money or less nervous. Well, I'm less nervous now that the IRS isn't going to come and sweep down in their Black Hawk helicopters and crash my door in. So it's nice to get that bill off my top of my head, just in time to do taxes next year. But I increased my taxes, but so did I the year before that. So I don't know what the tax code's doing. I don't know. I know my taxes on my house went up. Insurance on the house went up, which is in turn going to raise the house note. And that's how that works. That's why you can never catch up. So paying 1,040 costs of $500 Wingbits, if given the choice, is crazy. They're just kidding. This, though I hate giving y'all advice on what to buy, what not to buy. I just look at it in my terms. If I wanted to get into a flight aware type of crypto project, if that's the way I describe it, that's the way I was telling somebody a while back. Oh, in the Meshtastic and Meshcore Discord, if you're familiar with flight aware, but you want to do it because these people were who I was talking to, but they're unaware of anything crypto. Hey, you're doing flight aware. They have projects now that you can get paid for that. Well, no, I like to volunteer and something. That's fine, but that company's selling it. Yeah, I know. So they're selling your free data blah blah blah. You know, but if I'm talking to somebody about it and they live in New York or behind 619's house or even South Louisiana, I'm like, there's hold on, there's plenty enough Wingbit stations at those locations. They don't need any more redundancy. The redundant stations have redundancy of even more stations. Slow your roll, you don't need it. But yes, it is going to cost you a little bit more. But chances are, go check out the hex on this project. And then this project, yes, it costs a little more. But if you're wide open and you're also in the beginning, again, we don't know how the tokenomics work, but you would hope that with a lot less stations online right now, last I knew, Wingbits had about 170 something devices online, if I'm not mistaken. Then you had the sale on these, which was only 200 more. So the very most you're going to have is 370 stations. And then you had the next drop, which they haven't sold out yet. But okay, let's just say they had another 100 sold. I doubt it, but let's just say they did. That's 400 stations now. You have a chance of a lot more wide open space with this project than you do with Wingbits. But then again, at the same time, you have no idea, you know, how legit it's going to be. It's great. It's great. $5 is basically my limit. Yeah, I hear you. Trust me. Trust me. All right, so I'm glad you brought that up. J Rods. Thanks, J Rods. Appreciate it. I did get a notification for 375 AI to sign up for V2 beta. I've not looked into it yet because at first, I'll be honest with you, we get so many, especially me, so many spam emails, letters, contacts. I was worried that when I saw that, I'm like, this might just be another scam. Like, I get a text every day about Coinbase, KuCoin. Thank you for approving your transaction. Please open this to approve your transaction or something like that. Thanks for letting us know that. Thanks for purchasing $2,000 worth of Wingbits. And if this wasn't you, sign in here. Oh yeah, right. But somebody's falling for it. So I have not had a chance to look into the V2 beta yet. I just have me going and looking. Oh, excuse. I'm sorry, guys. Tell y'all I was tired. But yeah, I'll look into the V2 beta. Did everybody get the invite or only certain special people? You know, my wife says I'm special all the time. I don't think they mean it the same way though. Um, and who fought it makes a very good point. The one thing about devices costing so much money, twice as much money, means there's less contesting from other miners, and that is very accurate. Very accurate. Ugh. Jorge said he got it. Jay Styles says, "Yo, what's happening? Why are you so far from the camera, dude? I'm exhausted. I started like this and just slowly get back. It's been been watching too much TV at night, catching up on my binge watching. Vehicles. Come on, man. Seems like they're going in a different direction than just tracking vehicles. The forum talked about looking at displays in stores and taking. Let me tell you something. This blows my mind. Let me tell you what I think about is not that I'm sexist at all, because there are some women in crypto. We just saw Gigi celebrating her birthday, and the other chick that's always in the gym because one person commented said she was fat, and now she's in the gym all the time. I forget her name. Other than that, 99% of 95%. I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. is men in crypto. So maybe 375 is the smartest out of everybody and says, if we involve the crypto doing some kind of shopping in stores, now we can wrap the women in our project. That might be pretty smart. You know, looking at displays in stores and taking pictures. Yeah, the reason I'm asking if everybody got it or not, because when you look at the announcements page, there's nothing about it. You don't see nothing. People saying they couldn't sign up for it. At least it was early. This is 2:30. So hey, I'll look into it. I think I'm in 22 projects right now. I would tell you something else I have been doing. I haven't did it last night or tonight because I haven't been doing it. I know for those of y'all who watch my video, y'all know this already, but I started messing with Silencio with the AI app where you sit here and you just talk into the microphone. And some of them, the only thing I don't know about is it says it's like 2,000 in-app tokens or something. Is that actually Silencio tokens? Because I don't think that is actually raffle tickets either. Gosh, I'm so sorry. This is probably the worst live I've did since I started doing lives. So, as you can see, you can get either earn 10x bonus or earn 5x bonus. Of course, we're going to do the 10x bonus. And you can do this. So you can either, what's your strategy for managing time effectively? Who's got free time to manage? So you can do that and earn 5,000 in-app tokens. You can do keywords where you just sit right here and go today, tomorrow, yesterday, morning, whatever for 420 tokens. Or you can do monologues where you talk about a story or something. Scrolling through social media is filled with everyone else's vacation photos. Yeah, bro, that ain't me. And you get 3,000 tokens for it. You can see I made 26,922. I worked overtime the other night, and we were sitting in the park. I was sitting in the parking lot waiting on some things, and it took me about 15, 20 minutes. So I sat here, and I had my laptop with it anyway, and I was just sat there and just did a couple of these. I don't know. Again, I'd like to know if those in-app tokens are actual. Because see right there it says coins. So is that actual Silencio coins? I don't know. Um, so let's get more price. Let's get more price action. Is it? Mm-hmm. It sure is. Up 20%. It sure is. Wendy O is the queen of clickbait. And I have not been able to watch her lately. She's just a little over the top. I don't know the word you want to use, but everything is XRP, XRP, XRP. I'm sure people who were in my videos at some point were like, dude, everything's Wingbits, Wingbits, Wingbits with you. And I want to say, no, it ain't. I mean, look how we let off tonight. Yeah, I cannot stop yawning. I don't know. I don't say nothing because some people just take things too, you know. Typed Wendy O, crypto Wendy O. She's always changing her camera angle. Also, I think she copied off of me. Dude, she's the queen of click. She needs to go to crypto conferences and just teach YouTubers how to do clickbait. I'm sure she's got somebody how to do it. Urgent Bitcoin signal, bombshell, crypto apocalypse, the 500 million XRP deal, yearly gains wiped out. It's all over. And look, and there's some days, not that I'm against women or anything like, but there's some days when she doesn't put the makeup on. She's, I mean, look, I gotta look rough every day because I'm not allowed to put makeup. So yeah. So the tokens for AI are supposed to be SOT tokens. Now I'm gonna tell you, depending on how valuable you think your life is, your time is. Well, everybody thinks their life's valuable. That was a wrong thing to say. Time, you got 30 minutes, and you're getting 1-for-1 Silencio tokens for running that. You do a couple of minutes worth. I think the other day I did a couple minutes worth. It was worth 17 or 20 cents. So you do some of the bonus ones with the 5x on them. Might do pretty good compared to some of these other products we're in. I don't know. All right, guys. Well, I don't think y'all want to see me fall asleep and start snoring. Like I said, it's been a rough couple of days. I gotta learn to go to sleep at night. I ain't been playing Call of Duty. It sucks too bad. So it ain't that. That's for sure. Um, those Monday night, Tuesday morning videos are killer though. It takes me, like I said, it takes about 2 hours to make the video, and then I gotta sit there and edit it. It takes at least an hour, if not longer than an hour, to edit that video. Then I gotta sit there and upload it. And YouTube's upload servers are the slowest. You gotta sit there and wait for that. You gotta sit there and wait for it to prove it and copyright, or check for copyright. And if you're doing ads, it takes even longer to get approved. And I'm telling you right now, it's a 4 or 5 hour process. So I was doing that too last night. But Christmas trust month. Look, I'm proud of myself. I'm an hour and 17 minutes. I'm 79 minutes according to screen, and I did not say the P word. I did not say the B word or anything like that. Nothing about me personally with money. So see, I'm doing better. Instead of me coming and crying to y'all about all my financial woes. See, it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy that you just can't catch up. Seems like there's always something coming, and you start catching up with one thing, and something else hits you. It's just you can't catch up. Almost like it's scripted. Like they make sure that you can't do anything catch up. Um, my son will be home tomorrow for Christmas holidays, and so that's cool. I don't know what he's gonna do. He's got a new little girlfriend, and they're not gonna see each other for Christmas. So we'll see how that goes. Um, he's actually gonna come to work with me, like he did over the summer for a couple of weeks until he goes back in mid-January. So that's gonna be cool. Yep. Christmas is right around the corner, and I keep telling my kids, y'all getting painted rocks for Christmas. Just tell them what color you want. Santa's gonna paint some rocks for you, and if you're really, really special, you might get a shiny gold one. But gold paint's expensive, so I don't know. It is. It's just stress month. It is. I don't know how some other families do it. I don't understand how my wife and I are making more money than we've ever had before. We're blessed, but it just seems like my wife's downgraded cars, and we don't go out to eat at all. We haven't been on vacation in a while. I don't know how you get like this. It's just crazy. It's crazy. No, it's the same girlfriend. It's the same girlfriend. But I ain't paying for no dates. No, but it's the same girlfriend. It's just it's new for him. It's new for all of us just because he didn't I don't want to talk too much about his stuff. I don't want him pissed off at me, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see what he does for 4 weeks at home. You know, he's got to work Monday through Friday, so he can't go sneak off during the week. But it's gonna be cool. I'm excited to have him back at work because it's just cool with us working together and doing stuff. So I guess I'm selfish, but it's cool. He'll be all right. Because salaries didn't catch up with all inflation, and I think that's what part of it is too. Is I got a nice raise last year. I'm very grateful for the raise I got. I'm making more money doing this career than I ever thought I would, with no college diploma. So I'm grateful. But when you look at the percentage of the raises we got, and again, they were very good. It wasn't just a little, hey, we're giving you a cost of living bump up. It was significant. But when you look at it from like the last point, and even my wife, we looked at salaries and then we looked back at the salary on the last spreadsheet I did was in 2018. She got hardly any kind of raise. And she works for the school board. They don't give hardly any raises. So that's what I told her is you look at what our expenses were back then and what our expenses are now. Then you look at our salary income back then and what it is now. It's crazy. Um, hmm. All right, boys and girls, I appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. I promise you Thursday will be a little better live. I'll make sure I go to bed a little earlier tonight and tomorrow night, so I'm not sitting here yawning and falling asleep. Hopefully we have some news on our projects and kind of what's going on. I'm hoping that I can at least get what the hell is it? Mass chain set up, marine tracking. I have a spare VHF antenna that I think will be in the 160 megahertz range. I have I actually just happened to find one of the black SDRs for it. I'm actually taking a computer. Y'all know I have a couple of these I got one right here I can grab. The Lenovo tiny computers that my buddy gave me a stack of a couple of years back. I got a spare hard drive for it, so I always take the hard drive out, put a drill of it through it for him. They drill it out to ruin it, whatever you want to call it. And got a new hard drive, a little cheap SSD, 500 gig hard drive, wasn't that much. Gonna put the Debian on it or something like that, and try to get mass chain working. I've just been busy as hell at work trying to get these mesh-tastic devices up throughout our parish and county, whatever you want to call it, because we have teams that are starting to use ATAC. If any of y'all are familiar with any of that crap, so I just been busy dealing with that, deploying that. In addition, which a lot of this mesh-tastic, mesh core ATAC stuff is helium, just with different programs, same frequency, same type of setups, and to a point. So I've been doing that, and I've been so slammed with that on top of radio updates from Motorola and working. My work got a grant for more radios from Motorola. Now you're haggling with the stupid pricing and stuff. It's just busy. It's just so busy. It's crazy. What's a good website for seeing ships on map? I think I found one the other day. I did a video on it. Is it Marine AIS Maps? Marine AIS Map. So I go to Marine M. Yeah, when you go to Marine Traffic. Hey, you want to see how stuff moves throughout this country? Mississippi River. It then goes off towards this probably the Ohio River or something like that. Is that what this is? You know, then you got the Colorado River. And you got whatever river this is. What river? What is this that goes into Chicago? I didn't realize it. And then you got the Great Lakes and all the shipping they do in there. Look, and then you got Panama Canal Zone. I think that's cool. Like, I haven't looked at this in a long time. I didn't want to do the video on it today. But you know, Grumpy lives right here. Literally, if I brought this camera outside my front door and looked to the left, a little ways down the street, it's a straight shot. You would see 30 feet high is the levee, and right behind that levee is the Mississippi River. Yeah, so they even got once the swordfish is a fishing vessel at anchor. Offshore construction jackup. All right, so that's not a fishing ship. That's a rig or something. Look, it's even got that's cool. It's even got. I tell you, this is I keep saying it. AIS is like Wingbits on the water. Sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. See who far they got a couple of ships in Canada. Okay. You know, it'd be cool. Would be cool if you get like I watch all those all the crab shows, Deadliest Catch. I'd freak out if I got to see one of these fishing boats. So technically, I guess you could. I mean, you could see. That's cool. I could sit there and look at this and bore the hell out of y'all. Now, I did not realize this. You mentioned that I want quakes, but what I did not realize is that where if y'all have ever seen my outdoor hunting videos, I'm hunting on a fault line. I did not realize this. So I was in the Mesh Core Meshtastic um live, whatever you want to call it, but on the AMA. Somebody asked me about something with hunting, and I told them where I was in Mississippi, and like, oh man, that's where the mini Grand Canyon is. And I'm like, the mini Grand Canyon? What the hell are you talking about? In Mississippi, they got a mini Grand Canyon because it's on the top of a fault line. And I'm like, what? What? So in Foxworth, Mississippi, I think it's Foxworth, Mississippi. know what I searched. Columbia, Mini Grand Canyon. That's called Red Bluff. But this is supposedly on a fault line right here in the area that I hunt in. And I'm telling y'all, last night in the middle of this live, I'm like, first of all, I said I did not know this existed. This is a stone's throw away, no pun intended, from my hunting lease. And I'm like, man, I can go put a quake core up on my hunting lease. This is supposed to be a very old fault line that's not active, if they say so. But this fault line actually goes into Louisiana. It's an old fault line. So I just thought that was cool. I thought it was amazing that I didn't know anything about that. And this says even Eastern. I grew up in Michoud. If y'all ever saw that video of me trying to get um, I know y'all gonna laugh because this is how one of my other lives ended up with me giving y'all tours of my house, and that's how one of y'all found out about Hubig's pies or whatever. I grew up in Michoud. That was the name of the area of New Orleans. If y'all familiar with New Orleans at all, they got Ninth Ward and Bywater and Sixth Ward, and then they got Michoud. Dude, I was living on the fault line. So I was trying to find the fault line from Mississippi to um, New Madrid seismic zone. Nope, that's a little more north. I don't know, man. I might have to get me a quake core device. Never know. I know if I lived around Baton Rouge and Tiger Stadium for LSU, I would put a quake core because there have been Saturdays. Y'all can Google this if you don't believe me. There have been Saturdays where the fans at Tiger Stadium got so crazy that it set off the seismographs at the LSU stadium. So go Tigers. The ship D-pin is called Mast Chain. One word now. It was when Who Fought It shared it with us a while back. It was called Worldwide AIS or something like that. It is now called Mast Chain. One word. MASTCHAIN. Chain. Mastchain.io is the website. Like I said, it's a professional looking website. I was watching another fellow YouTuber do a video on this, and he made a good comment. Good point. While there's no official word about this, actually, I think they were interviewing the CEO of this. If y'all saw the video, I thought I shared it, but maybe not. But the YouTuber alluded to, hey, well, right now while you're getting our feet off the ground, kind of similar to like what Wingbits did, could you see a time where right now you're doing all DIY devices, but then at some point customers are going to want kind of perfectly made, not that Wingbits is perfectly made, but you know what I'm saying? They are professionally made devices. And he said, you never know. It's not a no. I guess maybe he just doesn't know this project's just getting off the ground. He just can't answer those kind of questions that far away. My point is, hey, if you think you're interested in this project and you live within 30, 40 miles of that area we just showed that has shipping channels and stuff like that, as you can see, you could be in the middle of the United States. If you have a shipping channel by you, you can try it out. I have a computer to put this on. I have the black SDR already. The only thing I got to figure out is what I'm trying to find out. My buddy, actually, I'll be honest with y'all. My buddy that has the 400-foot tower that I have a Wingbit station on. He had an abandoned spot. Yes, it's 400 for the feed line, but it's also an inch and a half maybe feed line. So it's like this. It's crazy. But I asked him if he thinks he has a VHF. At one point, he had a VHF repeater. Not him, but a customer had a VHF repeater all the way on top. He is trying to find out what the frequency range is of that antenna. Some stuff's in the 130s, some stuff's in the 140s, like ham stuff. Some stuff's in the 150s, which is a lot of your commercial, your public safety repeaters also. And then you have marine and weather that's in the 160s. He's trying to find out what it is. I told him I don't care, because I still think as long as you know it's a VHF antenna, and I can look at in binoculars and look at an antenna 400 feet up on the tower and tell you what the lobes look like and get pretty damn close to what band it is. And I said, dude, that's definitely VHF. And I'm not transmitting. And if I'm only receiving, I still think an out-of-tuned VHF piece of metal, good commercial metal antenna all the way up at 400 feet is going to do better versus any kind of antenna I get at ground level. Because VHF, more than anything, is line of sight. And those ships are on sea level as it is, close to sea level. Chances are they're probably lower than what your antenna is going to be for this. So you need as much height as you can get. So well, 619, we've kind of already hit that point. Personally, I don't ever see that coming. I don't see them turning their back on 2,000 stations. Just don't see it. There's no way. I don't see that ever happening. You know, if we're gonna sit here, and talk about gossip, like Gossip Girls, one time what I heard was, and again, I'm gonna make sure I say this and preface this before I get in trouble. This did not come in a chat from anybody with the Wingbits project, or I'm 91.3% sure it didn't even come from inside the Wingbits Discord. It was somewhere else. Definitely not from anybody Wingbits team, because I would have really pushed if it did. But what I remember hearing at one point that, how do I write without getting in trouble? The data that those DIY stations is not even really as valuable, because even though the geosigner is verifying the location, these customers want stuff to come from the exact station that they know, or the details of and the guts of the actual station. And that's the whole reason why they came with actual stations. It's encrypted and all the stuff like that. And because of that, they don't put as much. Again, I know I'm wording this wrong because I'm half asleep, but it's not as important. It is important to them because we built that project. But as far as the paying customer goes, but I argued that I don't know if I believe that, because on their server end, when you go to this when you go to the Wingbits website, okay, you go to Wingbits website. I want y'all to tell me which one of these player planes came from DIY devices or WB200s. You can't do it. When you look at this, does this look like can you look at this and say it did or did not come from a TAR 1090? I mean, a DIY device. So I don't know. What my hope has always been, and I really think I'm never going to get it, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows? I still have the sneaky spider suspicion that my fat, very fat gut, which is rarely wrong, I really, really feel like there is some kind of movement coming with stations soon. I know that's very vague, but again, if you watch the AMA or listen to AMA, whatever you want to do, or go back and listen to AMA, at some point, Robin mentions that I don't know what the hell happened to my other sheet. Oh, here it is. Hey man, since you're still here, let's turn up the sun a little bit. Jesus Christ. Rankings are coming back. They're in discussion. Egypt and China is illegal. There are some issues with overcrowded, but they have. See, look, this is what I was looking for earlier. There are some issues with overcrowding, but they have something possibly coming where it won't be. But if overcrowding really becomes a problem that they will have to deal with, something like London and New York. So there you go. I wrote that word for word. Not word for word, but my point is I ain't making it up. I wrote that in the notes with everything else. So they are aware that some issues are overcrowding, but they have something possibly coming where it won't be. I don't know what that means. Telling you, they talked about watching on the projects launching. They're failing, still not ready to launch. They know people will be pissed. People have host, figure out the value completely. See, wait, see, I read this. I knew I wrote this down. I was told that this is not what happened. And I wrote this stuff down, and I don't want to curse. How do they figure out the value? They used a 50 million FDV with a 400,000 in place for this. And that's how they came up to 0.005. But yet what they're saying now is that they knew they had this amount of tokens possibly able to be sold. $400,000 when they did the math, that would give them 0.005. But I knew for a fact, I was corrected saying there was no FDV. He said it in the AMA. Don't make me go back and rewatch this AMA. It's been the beginning when Robin starts talking, so it ain't that hard to find. You complete voluntary have to have at least not quite ready for TG, no concept 40 God, TG possibly be close. More announcements coming close. Need global coverage. 40 God again. Updates coming out about right here. There'll be updates coming out about HiFix and DIY devices. People having issues with some surge protectors also. And then Grumpy said, I told you so. Because I was told when I argued that thing, that ESD thing wasn't going to help. And everybody's like, oh yeah, HiFix figured it out. And that's what it is. This enema right here looks like a freaking. I'm like, gosh, this thing is a shunt. Like, I'm not going there. Whatever. So it says right here. Updates coming out about HiFix DIY. Wingbits are monitoring status and when they see a possible LNA station. I never did mention that. So they are monitoring our WB200s. Turn the sun down. Jesus, I got burnt. They are monitoring and they're proactive so that if they do start seeing somebody's station take a drastic dump, Wingbits is contacting you saying, hey, there's something possibly wrong with the station. And there's more announcements coming soon about low elevation ground coverage rewards. And they have over a dozen customers already. Which that's a positive piece of news, but I'm tired of negative. Does anybody else wonder, you have 12 customers paying customers, and you still can't go TGE. Does anybody ever look at it from that side? Listen, I'm supporting this project. I hate to bring up questions like that, but it just, I think the longer you go without TGE, we're going to come up with questions. You know, is it that the money is going to other places? Is it just that they're not, they sign contracts, but they're still paying on their previous contracts with the other provider? And, I told you my chair just slowly falls. I don't know. Who farted? I hope it's 4 to 6 cents. I don't think. I think we're lucky if it's a penny. Now, what happens to it after that? I don't know. But my point of all that was Christmas. I'm gonna have to start. I'm gonna start coming out with Grumpy's own back scratcher. How about that? Anyway, I'm curious to see if they're gonna come out soon with something with project with devices. That's what all that was about. I know I read something in there. What I really think, I would love for it to be DIY stations. I don't see it. From what I understand, the geosonars were a one-time purchase thing. They got a couple on the side for people who get damaged or something, or it goes out, and that's it. Wingbits, we sit here and we knock certain projects because, we said they're just trying to make money off of devices and stuff like that. And here's Wingbits paying out of their own pocket for these geosonars and then mailing them out to 2,000 stations. Again, it's quite opposite. These people are doing things differently. The fact that people can just sit in there and just knock them is just, over TGE. Hey, I understand TGE. Trust me, I'm pissed off and I wish it was here too. But you have to give credit to where credit's due. This isn't like some other projects that are just selling, $3 ESP32 devices from AliExpress and repackaging them and selling them for whatever. And there's a number of different projects doing that. So I don't want nobody to think I'm throwing shade at one particular one. There are several projects that are doing that. Or even projects that took a pie and put a pie inside of a box and charged triple the price for it. I still can't wait to see what Grass wants for their device. And when somebody takes apart and see what's in there, I think it's going to be a pie. But whenever Grass gets done with trying to sell that product, and I don't understand that either, but it's neither here or there. Morning Stacker destroyed Wingbits on. Who the hell is Mining Stacker? Mining Stacker. I'm gonna have to watch that later. That'll be up to 2 a.m. again. Man, his dude's video is only 30 minutes long. Tell him to come back when he has an hour and 20 minutes, and then he can be in my league. All that means is he's not in enough projects yet. How are you gonna knock a project? Not even on TGE yet. Like, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt until I go watch it. Yeah, good channel, crypto, A6 ND pin. He has a good channel. We'll see. I'll go watch him a little bit later. Maybe that's what I'm missing. Maybe that's what I'm missing. I'm missing some good crap behind me. Maybe that's what it is. I need to put some characters back there. Cool little Darth Vader thing, Groot, UFC, a bunch of Air Jordans, baby Jordans. I've always said when in the late 80s, early 90s when they came out with them little baby Jordans that are right there. That my kid would have baby Jordans. And I never put my kids in, I never put my son in baby Jordans. So I guess when my grandkids come, hopefully years down the road, they can come over and Gramps will give them, you know, that'd be cool if my godchild, I mean my grandchild calls me Grumpy also. Grumpy Paps. um buy him some baby Jordans. Baby Jordans. One TV deep. Boy, if I could get deep in just for watching TV, y'all would never see me again. Could you imagine? So he does long ones. I saw it 35, 40 minutes. You know, I can't, I've always said, anybody who knew me thought the last thing I'd be doing was doing videos over 15 minutes because I can't watch. My ADD is so bad. I can be as interested as I want in a Tyler video. But once he starts going 16, 17 minutes, I can't handle it. He's about 14, 15 minutes and I can watch it. Especially when I'm eating lunch. I got my headphones right there at the restaurant and I'm sitting there. I eat lunch by myself. I go to usually the same little cafe, same little deli and go sit in the corner. They got a little table for me. I sit in the corner. I'm like, old man, like I go and eat at this little place almost every day because you can walk right in. They know on certain days of the week, that's how predictable I am. They know on today was hamburger steak, mashed potatoes. They know I don't want no onions on my hamburger steak. Some days I do mashed potatoes, some days I do rice, gravy with corn on it. And walk in today, you want rice or this is what they say. You want rice or like I'm walking in, like not even to my table yet. You want rice or mashed potatoes today? And I'm like, that's the hardest decision of the day. I had mashed potatoes last week. I'll take rice this week. By the time I put my stuff on the table, go use the bathroom, gotta wash my hands every time before I eat. And by the time I'm sitting down, food's there. Thursday is stuffed bell pepper. Friday is crawfish stew. Sometimes I get a po' boy. Mondays is red beans and rice with either mild or spicy sausage. That's how predictable I am, man. That is how predictable I am. You know, I don't know. I don't trust men with caps back. The only time I ever wear my caps backwards is when I'm riding in the boat. When we in the boat, because if not, you're gonna lose your hat. Oh, you see that's awesome, Jay Styles. CMH3 Studio, welcome. And I do agree with you, man. Like I said, I got a bunch of stuff to do. I know you came in late. I didn't say the P word or the B word, BROKE. I never said it one time, so I'm proud of myself. But I am in that say it's Christmas time. Some of the little overtime and little things I was doing at work has kind of dried up because it's the end of the year, Christmas time. People doing Christmas parties. They're not doing big, they're not doing kind of functions. Um, Now Friday, I will be escorting the local high school every Friday night. I work the certain local high school football game, and then I will be going with them to the state championship. So I get to if y'all know anything about the NFL or football, it's at the New Orleans Superdome. And me, who played high school football, it was always our goal and our dream to get to the the Superdome for state finals for the final, game. And we missed it in the playoffs. Like, we went to the playoffs but didn't make it. And then the year right after I graduate, that football team makes it on the Superdome. And so now I'm telling you, when you are standing on that artificial turf and you look up and you see those people, and me, I look, I've always said, like, if you knew me in person, people to this day do not believe I have a YouTube channel because I'm the one that if somebody's busting the camera out, I'm hiding behind somebody. If anybody ever sees me in Facebook and sees family pictures, I hide behind my kids and you see my face. I'm very self-conscious about my appearance. Even now, like y'all never see me really below nipple length, nipple height. um, and it's weird though. Being out there though, it's a long time to have to suck your gut in because you just feel like everybody's looking at you. Even though no, they're there for the state championship. They're watching football, but me, I'm so self conscious. I'm like, oh my god, like it's. I look forward to it, and then I can't wait for it to be done. If that makes sense. But that's where I'll be Friday night up, and I usually do it a little short or something like that, showing myself at the Superdome and stuff like that, just to pass it on. Said the W word. What was the W word? Or when? Let's see. I didn't say the two words I said I could. I'm not gonna talk about how the P word I am no more or B word. You know, people make comments about I always say that in my videos. But look, I wish I had money to get into some other project. I told y'all, and I don't know in hindsight if it was bad or not, but I wish I would have bought like a beamable node. I don't know what's going on with our Nubula nodes because they're not doing rewards until they set up Nubula nodes. I have not seen anything about setting up a Nubula node, so I paid $300 for a Nubula node for what? What? Yeah. But Beamable, I saw Beamable is setting up nodes for those who did. Excuse me. There are several people here. Well, I don't know about here. There's only 8 people watching right now. I'm just sitting here rambling with no subjects. There were several people who used my code for Beamable nodes. So I didn't get one, so I can't show y'all how to hook it up, how to set it up, or anything like that. Don't know anything about what's going to be required. I know there were several of y'all who bought Nubula nodes. There were more people who bought Nubula nodes than Beamable nodes. Where there's different levels to the Nubula nodes. I didn't get any information on what the setup, what's the equipment going to be needed, what's the time frame on that. Hey, I hate to spread FUD, and I'm just in a tired, cranky mood, grumpy mood. Are any of y'all starting to get a little nervous about Nubula, or is it just me? And what pisses me off is I had faith in it that it was going to be better than WeatherXM, but the signs were there. But it was just that I was so pissed off at Nubula. I mean, at WeatherXM. At that point, I'm like, "All right, Nubula, we counting on you." But the signs were right in front of us. A weather station that can't tell you if it's raining or not. A weather station that can't tell you what direction the wind's coming from. Those are important items for people in public safety. There's a reason why we have 3 or 4 different weather stations on our roofs and certain vital points on the lake and the Mississippi River and around these petroleum plants in case there's a release. And we need to know which way the wind's going, how fast the wind's going. We know if it's raining or not. How much rain do we have? Are we looking at flooding? Certain streets flood with just, if you get 2 inches of rain within a certain amount of time frame or at a certain rate, we have to start taking precautions in emergency management. And Nubula don't have none of that shit. None of it. But I will argue this also. The last hurricane we had in 2024 was it Francine or something like that. We had 85-mile-an-hour winds. My WeatherXM, I will say, kept up with those winds, but it also at one point said it wasn't raining, and we were storming outside. So what good is WeatherXM? So I'm just looking at that Nubla token, questioning how are all those tokens being sold if this is a new project. Even, I mean, you would have to have everybody who got airdrops, everybody got this, all of them selling at the same time. Like, it's just way too many. So you wonder if the team did something. Again, I don't want to accuse because I don't know enough about the project, who the people are, or anything like that. But y'all have to all kind of be on that same boat with me that this looks a little suspicious, you know, a little. I know some of y'all were with me. Y'all all liked Nubla. You know, of course I still got my. Let me see if I can find it. Nubila. Let's see. So we're down another 15% today. 0.006 to 0.005. We're down 41% for the week, 0.008 to 0.005. And we're down still 94% for the month. You know, tokens, you have tokens that drop because of TGE. But this right here, especially right here, you know, it's bad. I just question it. I'm bearish on Nubla. Get out. I don't know. Who fought it? I disagree with 50% of that statement. But you know, you and me are boys. We disagree about everything. Weather XM, I don't I have zero faith in it at this point. Because let me tell you another thing that I thought about. It just came to me in the epiphany the other day, and I meant to mention it yesterday. I'm glad you reminded me. I've told you before about when I was putting my first Weather XM and installing it, and the plastic is falling apart in my hands, and I had to go snap it back together. Now again, it did last through 100-mile-an-hour. No, I'm sorry. Hurricane last year was 85-mile-an-hour gust hurricane. But either way, snow, heat, 100-degree temperatures. I don't know what that is in Celsius. Who fought it can tell you. But my point is, at some point, them stations are going to get worn and wear and tear. You know, even my Davis weather station that I paid $1,000 for had to go back at some point and get all the little instruments and everything recalibrated and redone and some replaced. At some point, Weather XM stations are going to start crapping out. 3, 4, 5 years down the road, depending on where you bought it at. I mean, that project's been out for like, 3 years now? Because I know they went test net for years. So what happens? What happens when that station starts going out? It's not under warranty no more. You buying another one for $300? Is that one of the ones that we said, like, I'm about to have a new category called 3,000 plus days to ROI. And it's going to be some of these projects that will be a $3,000 day TGE. 10 years. Oh, bro, you can go a whole lot without saying the T word. That's it. From now on, I can't say the B word, and you can't say the T word in the whole. If you say the T word, you get muted for the rest of the live. How about that? That's the deal. Now, if I use the B word, and for those of y'all who don't know, I'm talking about the BROKE or the P word, POOR. If I say that, I'll mute myself the rest of the live, and y'all can take it over. All right, boys and girls, I gotta go. We started this 2 hours ago, and I'm exhausted. But Thursday, I promised a little better live Thursday. It was kind of weak tonight. I feel bad. I can tell when we have weak lives and stuff. There's not a lot to talk about. Look, if y'all know a couple of things y'all want me to talk about in the live, if y'all got some ideas, let me know. I normally have a couple different ideas on a piece of paper or on the notes section of my phone. I'm like, hey, make sure you discuss things that I'm seeing throughout the day. I'm like, hey, I might discuss that tonight in the live. I had nothing for today. I even looked for a little while. I had nothing for today. So y'all got a couple of ideas y'all want me to look into for Thursday. I'm hoping I have time to get that masked chain project rolling. So at least y'all can kind of see, I can remote into the computer and y'all can kind of see maybe what that is. I don't know if it has a GUI or not. You know, somebody asked me, does this have a GUI like a TAR 1090 screen? I have no idea. This one ain't going to get done because I'm thinking about putting this on top of one of my buildings. I just got to get it okayed. I don't want to go through all that. But honestly, again, I want to give this the benefit that it ain't going on top of any of the towers that I have access to or my friends has access to. I'm not putting it because it's 2 antennas. And also, I don't like that feed line. Y'all know who I am with my feed line. It's just too thin. I'm really thinking about cutting it in half, soldering some ends on it, and using it for other projects. But I don't know. I need to get all this done. I was supposed to go hunting all weekend. It was supposed to be 30 degrees Fahrenheit. Who fought it can tell you what that is in Celsius. But then literally the models flipped yesterday, and now it's supposed to be 70, and I don't go hunting in 70-degree weather. So I don't know. But all right, I'm out. Thank y'all. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. make sure you subscribe to the Discord if you haven't subscribed yet. Links to all these projects in the description below, at least majority of them. You know, for those of y'all not in CapturGO, it's a free project. I've been trying to mention that one a little bit more. I think I had about 5 or 6 of y'all join it. I don't get ongoing rewards for it. I just get a couple of tokens for y'all using the code. Y'all get 75 tokens once y'all do a couple of hexes. So look up CapturGO. That link should be, or the code should be in the Discord below. I mean, in the description below. And also I shared it on X earlier. So other than that, I appreciate it. Thank y'all. Appreciate the loyalty as always. And even though y'all admitted y'all cheating on me and watching another YouTuber. I gotta go see what this dude says about Wingbits. It ain't gonna be tonight. But thank y'all. Seriously. See y'all later. Somebody get the light on the way out, because I'm out.